Hey all, I'm Narek Spell. Today let's talk about Elyon. We've all been chatting about it for a while and the release date is quickly coming up on us. It was originally scheduled for release on the 29th of September. Unfortunately, it has been delayed till the 20th of October. I know this is not the news we all wanted to hear, but there is some good news that it will be free to play. The game was always destined to have a cash shop, known as the Ruby Shop. We will have to see what items are going to change, if any, when it comes to the game going free to play and the Ruby Shop. So with that being said, I'm going to go through a beginner's overview of Elyon. By the end of this, I hope you have enough knowledge to jump into the game at release. We won't dive too deeply into a lot of the factors. I will follow up with more videos to give you a more in-depth guide for each of the sections that require it. This game does have a lot of customizations that you will see as we go through that makes it just an unbelievably standout game in my mind. Any great game starts with having two factions. This adds to a great portion of the overall gameplay. When we look at Elyon, we've got the two different factions as well. These factions come after the fall of the kingdom, dividing them into two separate realms. Realms within Elyon are Ontari and Vulpin. Vulpin being the blue, which are the noble leaders who strive for honour. Ontari, red, I would assume, are evil, are the brave idealists who wish to open the door to the new age. Keep in mind that when you create a character on a server, it locks that server to that faction. Brief overview of character customization will overwhelm some people who have come from more basic games, and probably underwhelm some who have come from more elaborate games. It allows for a pretty good customization for your characters, being able to transform size, height, and muscle structure, facial features, tattoos, and hair colours in many different ways. As we look at the races, we have humans, elves, orcs, and Ains. Now with humans, elves, and orcs, they are both male and female genders available for play. The only gender-locked race is Ain, but you can make some pretty cool looking raccoons. Let's look at the most important part of any character, its class. Now with all the races, there is none that are locked to specific classes, which makes for a great gameplay overall. But the classes overall are Warlord, Slayer, Elementalist, Mystic, Assassins, and Gunners. Warlords are your sword and board tank, having some great crowd control abilities and putting out more DPS than what we normally think of from a tank. Elementalist, which is not quite your standard run-of-the-mill mage, combining three elements for those destructive powers, or also focusing on one to create greater power. Mystics being your healer of the realm, but don't get me wrong here, these healers are not like most other games. They can still put out quite a heck of a lot of DPS and have some great crowd control functionality. Assassins. You know what assassins are. They're the rogue boys, right? Do I need to say more? Gunners. These are a mixture of close combat and range DPS, combining handguns and rifles depending on the situation. They also are able to have some great AoE with some turrets that they drop. Then we've got the Slayer, the newest class to be added into the Asian version of the game, which is your big heavy hitter with plate armor, your over-the-top sword wielder DPS melee. Let's dive into the most important part of in-game customization for your character. Extensive skills customization. There is a plethora of skill add-ons. Runestones and Mana Awakenings are some of these. Combine them to create your own combat style, from a busty glass cannon to a tanky frontliner. Let's look at the first of these, Runestones. Think Runestones as gems that you socket into almost every item. Now the Runestones are also able to be upgraded. The higher the upgrade of the Runestones, the more attributes that you get from them. You say, what? More attributes? Yes. So the Runestones, these are where the biggest part of your skill points come from. You need these skill attribute points to be able to level your skills up or use higher level skills. Skill attribute points come from two factors, the first one being from leveling up and the second from your runes. The higher the level the rune, the more skill points that it will give you. I'm going to stop there. Things are getting a little bit muddled, as a lot of these customizations for your character overlap. creating a depth within your character to customize it to suit the gameplay or your style at the time, or what you're required to do, whether that be PvP, PvE, or if you're doing a bit of both, right? When equipping runes, you can also get the rune points, which are different from your skill points. Keep that in mind. Rune points are broken up into 6 different types: Assault, Control, Fate, Support, Protection, and Awakening. Now, some of these are better than others depending on your situation. Some of them also come with a double-edged sword. If we look at some of the runes in the Awakening tree, they will increase your damage or healing by a certain percentage, but also increase the incoming damage you take. This is where the fun begins if you go down the Awakening rune tree. With runes and skill points, you are able to set up multiple configurations, so whether you're PvEing or PvPing, it's a quick click to switch in between the two. So essentially there is 2 types of pets in the games. Your traditional pet, which also collects items for you, giving you stat bonuses, and just like Black Desert Online, you're able to combine the pets together to create high level pets, giving you more bonuses. Combining pets of the same level increases their level through an RNG system. There is no guarantee that combining 2 level 1s will give you a level 2. Pets are purchased from the Ruby shop. There is some really cool looking pets, including a flying elephant. He was really cool. He was given to us in the closed beta. I'm going to tell you that it was really awesome. Looking at the second type of pet, which is your Luminous. Luminous pets are a lot different to your standard pet, and it does not collect items for you. Luminous possess a total of 9 effects according to the shape of their constellations. Additionally, they provide the 6 types of rune attribute points according to their colour. So keep this in mind when you are purchasing them from the Ruby shop as well. You can combine them together to create stronger Luminous pets, same as the normal pet. There is no guarantee because of the RNG system. Combining 2 pets of the same level will get you a higher pet. Each Luminous pet, depending on its grade, increases your passive stats. Luminous pets also allow you to do a Luminous battle. Essentially think of this as an AFK mode. While still in game, you are attacking a single opponent for a set amount of time, getting a reward every time that you kill the opponent, whether that be XP or an item as well. Let's look at the skill tree as it's called in most other games. In Elyon, it's known as Mana Awakening. Your Mana Awakening tree allows you to increase your physical abilities and special abilities. As you gain more Mana Awakening experience, you can awaken further attributes. When unlocking your Mana attributes, they are all interconnected. Keep this in mind that you can't just go up from 3 different trees as you can in some others. It must interconnect from one to another, no matter how you go through the trees. Enhancement. This is where the real fun of the game is, right? This is where the RNG comes into everything that you do with this game. Apart from your pets, enhancement is limited on items and you are only able to enhance your equipment so many times per each item. The trick is maximizing your enhancements with the limited number of available attempts. Most of your items, being your armor and weapons, will increase your stats. When enhancing your jewelry, these are different to your armor and weapons, increasing one stat but reducing another. Or you can not increase one stat, stop the reduce on the other. So time to talk about the real fun of the game. PvP. There is so many different forms of PvP, from open world, group PvP, 2 versus 2, 3 versus 3, 5 versus 5, and of course we've got realm warfare and clan wars. Clan wars are guild wars to have fun and go at each other. Each one of these has a different mechanism and different ways of doing things. And it is a very in-depth system to itself, being that of course you can change your runestones or skills to suit your situation. Okay, so we've had a brief touch on everything that is accessible in-game at the moment as of Closed Beta 2. The plan is from here that we'll narrow this down and give you a bit more in-depth guides to each of these areas. Lastly, there is the ability to purchase extra packs for the game. These are not what they sound like. They do not provide extra content, but more cash up items, rubies, and some exclusive items brought before game launch. There are 3 different packs: Wayfarer, Expansion, and Expedition, each one having different items in them. If you purchase 2 of these before the game release, you will get the Founder's Reward as well, which consists of an armor set, a weapon skin, and Founder's Pet. The Founder's Pet, a cat in knight's armor? I don't know what to think about this. It's pretty interesting looking, but I'm not a cat person. If you want to purchase these, head over to the Elyon site and check them out. I am not in any way saying that you need to buy these, as it is a free-to-play game, but there are some nice looking rewards if you do. Value for money can be seen within these without knowing how much items are costing from the cash shop. I hope you've really enjoyed this one so far, and if you want to see what's coming up next, remember to hit that like and subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the bell as well, so next time I either go live or post another video, you hear about it. Thanks for tuning in. I'm now Expelled, and I'll see you next time.